Now we've got a fun in-studio guest. My dyslexia again. Rick Arthur joins us. He is a Truman Fellow with the Truman National Security Project. He's a Navy reservist. He's had a 22-year career in the Navy, 12 years active service, supports the Pacific Fleet, and he's also a screenwriter here in L.A. He's worked on NCIS, Commander-in-Chief. You get the point. Rick, welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here, Jane. Thank you.
All right. Great to have you. So, you were in the Navy when they first did Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Is that right?
Absolutely. In 1993, I just graduated from the Naval Academy, and I was heading out to Japan, where I met my ship there. And that was definitely a hot-button issue as we were going as I was going to sea for the first time.
And what did you think of it at the time?
Well, actually, at the time, I have to say I was against gays in the military. It just felt like a generational thing, like we weren't ready for it yet. I think in the military we had just gone through a period from the 70s and 80s where we were assimilating women and really becoming it was a fully equal environment for that. Mm-hmm. I think organizations can only absorb one change of that magnitude every 10 years or so. And so it just didn't feel right, and it felt like kind of thrust down our throat. I think the Clinton administration did it incorrectly. That was the feeling we all had.
And I was going to ask that next. I mean, did you think that was a widespread feeling? I mean, I know it's anecdotal. You don't.
Absolutely.
Right.
There was a real big disconnect between, I was as far away from Washington as you can possibly imagine. I was in Japan and out to sea over there. But it really felt like the administration was out of touch with what we were doing and our reality on the ground or at sea. I feel like I have to compliment the Obama administration that it feels different now. It feels like there's a groundswell here, which makes it very appropriate to go to this next level of repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
So now you think that gays should be allowed in the military and that we should repeal Don't Ask?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't think and we probably should have done it before. It shouldn't be this long. I think by the late 90s it should have happened, and it's probably criminal that it didn't happen. When you look at the 60 linguists who were many of them Arabic, Farsi linguists, Korean linguists who were kicked out during the period of like 99 to 2003. A lot of those guys, it would have been nice if they were still in uniform reading the messages from Al Qaeda. We could have had possibly some more warning. It's a real national security issue.
Now, Rick, that's interesting how you transitioned, because you went from, it's too early, et cetera, to all the way to it's too late.
Oh yeah.
We got let's go. What do you think led to that transition?
Well, I do think it's a complicated issue. It was especially complicated back at that time. Especially the first few years of the Clinton administration was very rocky. His relationship to the military was very rocky. And to push it down the military's throat, I mean, an organization, you have to manage the pacing of change. You have to have a holding environment and kind of like move things slowly. And at the time, coming from somebody who was 22, 23, didn't know anything about, that kind of leadership theory, but being a young officer with 65 guys working for me, it just really didn't feel like it had, it felt like the wrong time. After the Clinton administration had been in office for a few years, everybody kind of got used to the new government. I think after the Monica Lewinsky thing, I think that the Clinton administration figured that they couldn't get any new any new initiatives through, and then the Bush administration, of course.
The day has shoved too many things down throats already.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, of course, the Bush administration had no interest. But look, Rick, I happen to think that this stuff is all very political, because now the military leaders all of a sudden are saying, yeah, gays in the military. That's awesome. What are you talking about? But magically, those same exact military leaders during the Bush years thought it was a terrible idea. So what happened?
Well, it is hard to say. Timing is everything, as they say. But also, I think that this issue does not have to be a left or right issue. I think it's more of a generational issue. And I think it really is interesting that the grandfather of the modern conservative unit movement, Barry Goldwater himself said, I don't care if he was against Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and his policy was, I don't care if you're gay or straight as long as you can shoot straight. Mm-hmm. And I think that's in the military, us on the ground in the deck place, we all knew gay people. They were around, and none of us really minded or cared, or it wasn't an issue.
I want to focus on that. We're talking to
Right.
Rick Arthur. He's a Navy reservist. He's been in the service for 22 years. What changed in terms of views of the people actually serving in the military? That's what I find fascinating, because how in 1993 are they totally opposed, and now they're totally in favor? I mean, I know it's a long time,
right?
17 years, etc.
Yeah.
Right? But is it a new group of people who came in and they're just younger and a new culture, or is it that the old people changed?
Well, I think a lot of it is a new group of people. I think I saw a statistic that in 1994, only 44% of the U.S. population thought that gays should be allowed to serve openly in the military. As recently as last year, I think that number is up to 75%, which exactly mirrors what it is amongst the current generation of active duty military people. It's about 75%. And the military is basically a reflection of society as far as you look at, racially and in other terms, and their attitudes, they reflect society's attitudes. It's not a different group of people.
Right. Now, at this point, Rick, do you think it's pretty much over, that they're going to do some, this Gates study for a year on how to integrate, not even whether to integrate? And so within a year, it's over. We've got gays in the military. No answer.
Absolutely. I think the administration is playing it correctly, and they're pushing it out there without pushing it down their throat. I think that they learned their lesson from the way the Clinton administration did it, and they're going to pick their battles, and they're going to, changing an organization is all about managing the pace of change. Like you can take an organization anywhere you want, and the military is no different. You just have to manage the pace, and military leaders will be able to handle it. There will be issues. Fox TV will trot out one or two guys who say that they quit the military because they couldn't handle being around gays or whatever, and it'll be kind of.
Then I don't want them in the military. I mean, if they get spooked by a couple of gay guys around, I mean,
absolutely,
how stable are they as soldiers?
Absolutely, you have to wonder, like, were there no gays at their high school or their hometown, or
right? And if a couple of gay guys scare them so much, how much is Al Qaeda going to scare them?
That's exactly true.
I mean, I don't even.
Well,
scared by the gay guys is so irrational. I don't know what else they can get scared by.
Well, it just doesn't make sense to keep those guys, in the military who can't handle it, especially when, there's numbers out there that Don't Ask, Don't Tell Us cost $360 million over a 10-year period. As far as lost, you train somebody up for a job, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and then for them, and then to lose them, because somebody else, a third party, said that they're gay or whatever, however it happened. It just doesn't make sense that you're going to lose that human asset because of, somebody's sexual preferences that are private matter anyways.
All right, Rick Arthur, Truman Fellow and screenwriter here in L.A. as well. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's a pleasure. Pleasure
All
having
right,
me.
we'll be right back.
Watch more clips at theyoungturks.com.